Hey, Tom here, FlipAnything USA. So I'm going to tell you how to negotiate a car to get the best deal you can. I've done it many times, and I did it the other day. And Raheem, I had mentioned that in a video earlier, and Raheem mentioned it. So I'm going to show you how to get the best deal you can to buy a brand new car. Okay, so I just bought my wife a brand new Highlander, 2017 Highlander. It's like an SUV. It's real. You can get it real nice, and that's what I got. We got one fully outfitted, leather and heated seats and all the bells and whistles and stuff. So when I first went back and looked at this car a few months ago, I was just kind of feeling out what kind of car we wanted to get. And so I talked to the used lot first because, there was some like 2016s with low miles and that sort of thing. And we were still getting a feel for the car, but they didn't have what I wanted. So we went over to the new lot, and now I had to deal with a different dealer because it wasn't the used guy. But so we kind of saw, yeah, this looks cool. This is probably it. I just didn't want to buy it just yet. I wanted to buy after the first of the year. This, I guess, was before December when I first looked at them. And a buddy of mine had gotten like a brother-in-law deal from he's connected, he got a good deal, and I know he paid about, I don't know, $37,000, getting a good deal. And may not have been as luxurious as the one I bought, but I knew that was in the ballpark. So anyways, I told this guy I'd probably come back and buy it from him in 2017. He was very diligent. The used guy would call me, because the used guy kept calling me every, I don't know, 6-8 weeks. He'd send me a text, or 3 weeks. And I'd say, you know what, not yet, not yet. And then last week I said, hey, I'm ready. So I wrote him and said, hey, we're ready to go. And he said, hey, I'm a used car. I'm a new dealer now too, a new car. I can sell you a new car now. I said, okay, great, because we want new. So I met him there. And let me back up just a sec. I've bought many cars in the past, and what I used to do is when you go to the fleet salesman on a lot, he's the guy that sells to the tow truck businesses or the taxi drivers or somebody that buys fleets of cars, numbers of cars. So you're always going to get your best deal from a fleet manager in general, and not necessarily, but in general, that's how it works. And the way you get a better deal if you want to go that route and negotiate with a fleet guy, what you do is, or what I used to do, is I would figure out exactly what I wanted in a car, and I usually have my white with tan leather seats. That's just kind of how I do everything. And so you write down, you say, hey, I'm looking for a fleet deal. We're adding to our fleet of cars for our business, and I'm looking for, say it's a white Toyota pickup, leather interior, and then most fleet guys, they'll have an alternative. In other words, they'll accept gray interior if tan isn't available. We'll accept beige if white isn't available. And so you basically lay down, and then you look more legit this way too, as buying for a fleet of cars for your company, is you say, so we're looking for another pickup. Here's the criteria: white or beige interior, or I'm sorry, white or beige exterior, light tan or light beige interior, must be leather. You write down the must be's and then the things that they can, have some variance on that you're okay with. But you let them all know that you're sending this to 2 or 3 other dealers. You send it to the fleet guy, the fleet salesman, at 2 or 3 dealerships. You don't tell them which ones because they can collude. So you just tell them you send it to 3 different dealerships and you're just doing business. And you send it out to them, and at the end of the day, the faxes come back, and they say, hey, we have this leather, and they'll tell you what they have, and here's the best price, here's the best price. That cuts all the BS out of it, because they want to sell a car, they know that they're competing against another dealer. So to change it up, on my wife's car, I didn't really have the time. I wanted to get the car, I wanted to make her happy. And so we went down there, and I liked this guy I was dealing with. And like I said, he graduated from being a used car salesman to being a new car salesman. And he was very diligent about contacting me every 3 weeks. And like I say, I appreciate relentless, because that's how I make my money. So I certainly appreciate him being very good about it with me. So what I did is, his name is John. I sat down with him, and when we finally figured out exactly the car we wanted, this is how I got the best deal. I'd already known that my buddy had paid roughly $36,000 at a bottom line deal that he got through a friend last year. So I had a little bit of knowledge about where the bottom is. So this car was at about 42, and I probably had more things on it. And so I told him, I said, look, John, I said, I'm not going to play this game back and forth with you. I said, give me your best deal right now. I said, I'm going to take that, and then I'm going to go talk to somebody else. And I'm not going to show them your bid, but you need to be competitive. If you're competitive, we'll make a deal. So his eyes kind of goes, okay, because he's in a pinch. Because anytime you deal with the salesman, they have this routine set up on all the car lots where this guy really can't give the answer. He says, okay, well, let me take this to my boss. And I'm fighting, and they act like I'm fighting for you. Let me go get you the best deal I can get. But really, it's all decided by this guy over here. And they're kind of working together to get the highest price they can. So I understand the routine. I said, okay, just so you know, I said, look, I'm not going to negotiate with you. With the price you're going to bring me, I'm either going to accept or I'm going to reject. So he come back from the 42, and now he came back, and it was like, he says, okay, should be a very good deal. And he sets it down, and I said, okay. I said, well, if you say it's a good deal, fine. I just said, but I'm walking out of here, and if it's not a great deal, I said, I'm going to another. He says, well, can you just, he wants me to make an offer. He wants me to, I said, look, I don't know the bottom. I said, you're competing against other dealers. I'm not competing with you. You're competing for my business. So he said, okay, let me take it back. So he goes back to his boss again, and now he comes back, and now it's down to 38. So we went from 42 to like high 39s. Now we're at 48. And I said, okay. I said, this is it. This is your final offer, right? And he's still, I could tell, there's still some room. He says, well, this is what my boss said to bring in. And I said, okay. I said, look, this is the deal. I'm going to take this right now. I'm going to leave. And I go, but this is what's going to happen. When I talk to another person, I'm not going to show them your bid. And if they get within, if they're within your quote that you're giving me, within a couple $100, I said, man, you got my business. You've been relentlessly calling me. You've been taking time. We walked around. We looked at cars. We drove around. I said, if you're a couple $100 higher, I said, I'm coming back to you. I said, but I'll tell you right now, if somebody else takes this and they kill it, if they kill it, and I'm not talking a couple hundred off, it's yours. But if they kill it, you ain't never seeing me again. And he said, can I tell my boss that? I said, go tell him. He went back to his boss again. Gone a little longer than ever, a little longer time than usual. He comes back and he said, okay. He said, now we're down to $36,000, okay? And he says, my boss says, he doesn't see how anybody can beat this offer, period. And he said, he guarantees it. And I said, okay. I said, you're sure? He said, that's all I can do. And he goes, and that's what he said. And I said, okay, I'll take it. Okay. So it got rid of all the bullshit. I didn't have to sit there and agonize. If you ever notice you walk on a car lot, you can't walk but 50 feet, and you'll see two guys almost racing at you to get their tag on you as theirs. So that's how it is. That's the nature of the business. I get it. But you don't have to play the game. But trust me, if you don't feel like dealing with people straight on, I understand that. Do the fleet, the fleet thing. Just act like you're buying for one of the cars for your business, and send it out to 3 different dealers. That'll cut a lot of the BS out of it. But I like this last approach was great because, I took the time with the salesman. He knew I was serious. I liked him. I wanted him to get his commission, whatever it is. But again, he understood the game, and I did too. But now you do too. So that's it. Raheem asked for it, and I meant to share it with you anyways because I know a lot of people agonize over that. But I think that's really one of the best ways to get to the very bottom. And that's it for today. Flip Anything USA. Please subscribe and share. And like got the new studio going here. Still getting the equipment set up and all. But it won't be long, and we'll be using this green screen and highlighting contracts and showing property behind me. So that's it for now. If you're just tuning in, we're all about making money in real estate and flipping things. It doesn't matter what it is. Things of value. But you can start with smaller stuff and work your way up to real estate, which is where the big money is and what I prefer most of all now. But that's what it's all about. So please watch and share. Thank you.